Good morning, Rob. How are you?
Good to see you. Certainly a tough Saturday for your team. 62-9 loss to Towson, one that I'm sure that you didn't see coming. Just as you've gone back and looked at the film, just kind of give me impressions on what happened.
Well, they took us behind the woodshed and just wore us out. Hats off to Towson. They came in, they had a good game plan. The coaches did a great job of having those guys ready to go. And obviously, I didn't do the same. I didn't have the guys ready to go. And, we failed to go out and play any brand of football that resembles what we're trying to do.
Game got off to a good start, opening drive. You hold the ball for 5.5 minutes, and Andrew Brown. I think when we talked a couple weeks ago, you said you felt good about him from 60. You rolled him out there from 56, and he hit his second field goal of the season over 55 yards. The only guy in FCS that's done that. Talk about the start in that first drive, and then just the kind of season that Andrew's having, and what you feel like his future is.
Yeah, well, the first drive, I feel like that was probably the only drive throughout the game where I felt like we had any type of rhythm. We had a couple third down conversions on that drive. We didn't do great throughout the game on third down, but on that drive we did okay. But we still, ended up coming up short and had to attempt a 56-yard field goal, which, like I told you, I feel comfortable with Andrew doing. He went out there and nailed it. And I'm just trying to fight for Andrew to get his just due. Like, I've been saying, I think he should have already received a Legacy Bowl invite, being the only kicker in the country with two kicks over 55 yards. I think the future's bright for him, and I hope that somebody can give him an opportunity because he's a great, great player and even better person.
Let's start with the offense. As you said, trouble converting on third down, 259 yards. Kevin was under pretty good pressure a lot of the day, only 90 yards and a couple of interceptions. What did you feel like Towson was able to do? Was it mostly up front that they caused you problems?
Yeah, I mean, they had some good pressure packages and they brought some pressure, but, we didn't do a good job of picking it up, obviously. The game comes down to blocking and tackling. And when you can't block them or tackle them, it's going to be a long day. And Saturday was a testament to that. Kevin has had better days, and I know he'll have better days in the future. But we got to do a better job of protecting them. And at the same time, we can't turn the ball over. I don't care what's going on. We got to make good decisions with the ball. Sometimes, it's better to eat it and take a sack rather than throw the ball up in the coverage and turn the ball over. So, it's all the way around. We got to get rid of the ball quicker. We got to do a better job of picking up pressure. And, they got some sacks rushing three as well. So, all the way around just wasn't a good day. And I didn't have the guys ready to go.
We're here with North Carolina A&T head coach Shawn Gibbs. If you have a question for him this morning, just use the chat feature or the raise your hand icon. Defensively, they were able to hit some big plays on you. What was it that they were able to do offensively that caused you problems for your defense?
Well, a lot of it was on us, not taking anything away from them, but their first offensive play in particular, um, you know, we had the perfect coverage for it. We had somebody underneath, and we told the guy, just play over the top, and we fell for a double move, and I got hit on a big play, the first play of the game. So it was just, a case of us being out of position and not making plays, and then some of the long runs. I mean, it was a 60-yard touchdown where it was, one of the worst displays of tackling that I've seen in a long time, where the guy just, was running through tackles, avoiding people, and we didn't get to him. So, we got a lot of work to do. That's not who we are. That's not who we're going to be. And it was quite frankly, that was an embarrassing display of football.
So let's look ahead as you have 3 weeks to go, and you certainly have made, as we've talked about in past weeks, your program is certainly making progress. I know not where you want it to be, but what's been the message? What's the message to this team going forward? 3 weeks to go to kind of build on some of the good stuff that has happened this season.
Well, it's way too much distance between our good and our bad. When we're good, we're pretty good, and then when we're bad, we're really bad. So that's not what good teams do. You're not going to have a great day every game. But we got to learn to cut that distance down. And when we're not playing the best, it's not as drastic as it is. So, our thing is to get back to fundamentals. That's who I am at my core. That's what I believe in. The game's about blocking and tackling, and we got to figure out how to get our guys blocking and tackling better. And if we can do that, we'll give ourselves a chance. Most definitely, we have to play better this week. We're facing a team that's top five in the league in total offense and total defense. So they got one of the better running backs. I think he's the second leading rusher in the conference. Our average is over 100 yards a game. So we got to get back to the basics, get back to the fundamentals, block and tackle better. We got to do a better job of coaching them and getting them in positions to make plays. So everybody in our program has to get better and try to improve these last 3 weeks. But the main thing is about us getting better tomorrow. We get a chance to go out and practice again tomorrow, and that's going to be our goal. Just try to get better tomorrow.
Question for you from Tiffany Williams. Good morning, Tiffany.
Good morning, Rob. Thank you. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Tiffany.
Tell me your three biggest takeaways from this game, and how do you focus on those this week and come back next week stronger?
Well, my number one takeaway is that we have to be a team that's hyper focused. Like we can't let anything in pregame that happens get us distracted. We're not that type of team. We got to be focused. We can't get into a talking contest and seeing who's tougher before the game and all those things. We got to be focused on the task at hand, and that's winning the football game. That would be number one. Second thing is we're not a good fundamentally sound football team, and that's been our emphasis all year. And it showed its ugly head on Saturday, where we didn't do a good job of blocking and we didn't do a good job of tackling. And that's how you win games. And then the last thing that I've gathered is that we have the ability to be as good as we want to be. It's just about being consistent. And I think that starts in practice. So we got to make sure that we're consistent in how we practice each and every day. We got to understand that every play matters, everything matters. And if we can get that through to our team, then I think our future is bright. It's been a tough season, played some tough games, and we've got our butt whooped a couple of times. So if we can't learn from this, I don't know if we'll ever learn. But we got a lot of work to do, and the display on Saturday was embarrassing. And I'm apologizing publicly to all our alums and fans and former football players. That's not indicative of who North Carolina A&T is as a program or a university.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach, you head out on the road to Stony Brook, and we'll touch on them in a minute. But first time in about a month you guys have been on the road, I know, and doing these calls and talking to some coaches. Sometimes being on the road and being together without distractions is a good thing. Are you looking forward to this trip in that perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of like going on the road. It's that us against the world mentality. We're going into a place where playing a good football team. It's our first time going up there. So it's going to be exciting. I'm excited about going to Long Island and seeing Stony Brook.
You talked about obviously the challenge Roland Dempster presents as far as an offense. I don't know if you've had a chance to study too much with the Stony Brook defense, but maybe what are some of the keys for your offense to get rolling against their defense?
Same thing. We're gonna have to block them. They got one of their D linemen that's been sticking out to me for a couple weeks, number 13. He's a really good player. And so we're gonna have a plan for him. We're gonna have to try to contain him because he's a good defensive lineman. And anytime you got those guys, those interior D linemen, they can be very disruptive. And we haven't done a great job of running the football all year anyway. So we're gonna have a plan to get him blocked. They're solid all the way around. They got some guys that can make some plays. There's a guy that made a pick in the end zone last week. It was phenomenal. So they got some athletes over there, and they're well coached, and they play hard, and they're a physical team. Similar to Towson. So I'm up for the challenge, and I know our guys will be up for the challenge, and we're excited about having another opportunity to go out and compete again.
All right, Coach. Thanks so much for your time today. Safe travels to Long Island, and we'll talk again next Monday.
Thank you, Rob. God bless.
Thank you. All right. Again, for Media